Thanks for stopping by, guys, and welcome back to Scrap Mechanic. And today I'm going to be doing a tutorial video on the bearing glitch cannons I've been using lately. I did a tutorial on the 3-stage piston cannons, but those have been outdated by these new bearing glitch cannons. So I wanted to do a tutorial so that you guys can put them in your creations as well. They're actually pretty simple. So I'm going to go ahead and go in here. I'm going to be doing the same cannon that was in the armored car, and I'm also going to be looking at an experimental design later in the episode. I'm also going to be talking about some of the variations you can do to the cannon. Let me find a piece real quick. There it is. So this is your main base. This is where your power is going to come from. And I cannot place blocks properly. Go ahead and paint these up. And not a seat. Bearings. Bearings are the power of the bearing glitch cannon. Now you could just stop with 2 bearings, but this cannon is going to have 4. If you wanted to make it smaller and just use 2, that's perfectly fine as well. If you wanted to do 2, you would just do this, and you wouldn't have to put a top piece on. So if you're doing a 2 bearing design, this is as much as you would need for your power, but for this we're going to do a 4 bearing design, which needs another piece there and 2 more bearings. Then we put a top on this. Now go ahead and weld those together. And there's the power pack for the entire gun. That's done. That's the entire thing right there. Actually, I shouldn't say it's the entire thing, because we do still have to put our controller. Go ahead and hook these up. And it's good to have a switch. We'll be removing the switch later on when we start doing the logic. But for testing, it's good to have it. And we actually need to disconnect these real quick. Take it off lift. Set these both to 360 degrees. And press your switch. Now, they should be both turning in this direction. So the top one is, but the bottom one isn't. So reverse that. And hook these up. And the top and the bottom should be reversed. So we have the bottom. This one's already reversed. And then that one needs reversed. Both of these set to 360. And there we go. That's the power pack. We can paint these as we need. Now we have to actually put the cage around where the shell will go. You can pretty much do this out of just about any material. I'm going to be using pipe pieces because I think it looks a little bit better. So 1, 2, 3, 4. For me, I do a 4 long round. If you wanted to do 6, 7, 8, you would just have to extend these. And then I'm going to put this back on lift so it's a bit easier to build. Now there's 2 pieces here that need to be deleted. I'm going to go ahead and use this. I'm going to be using this because it makes it a bit easier when we actually have to mount this to something. Because right here makes a good rotation point when you actually have to start putting your elevation mechanism in. But we're not going to be putting an elevation mechanism on at the moment. Paint this red because I like to know. It makes it visible when you're actually trying to load this, and here's where your spud gun will go. And just 1 button. Hook that up to the spud gun. Paint everything. And this could be a finished cannon if you want it to. If you want to go this simple, this is functional. Let me go ahead and grab my round. So you just press this to charge your round, and no, it does not, because I forgot to weld stuff. This needs to be welded to the lower half. So all this frame should be a single body. That was my mistake. So charge, fire. That went pretty far. Now it didn't go as far as it could because the cannon recoiled so hard that the cannon went flying as well. And from here, if you wanted to put a actual barrel on it to make it look a bit nicer, this is about the time you'd want to do that. Actually, I wouldn't do it that close. You might be able to get away with it, but I still wouldn't try it like that. I'd at least have the cannon barrel come out this way. Does make the cannon a bit wider, but it does also ensure your round doesn't hit the barrel as it's flying. Just for the heck of it, I'm actually going to try this. See how well this actually works. And I'm going to so we can actually aim up. There we go. Round in, charge, fire. It works. Not as good as I'd like it to be, but it works. Something does not seem to be right here. That's right. That's right. Okay. Thought I might have had something wrong there. But I'm going to delete those. I wouldn't have them that close to the cannon. You might be able to get away with it. But in my opinion, it's really not worth it. So now comes the logic. The logic can be pretty much anywhere. I'm going to attach it straight to the side of the cannon, so it's a bit easier. Logic bit and timer, and that should be it. Now I use a simple nor or, hook those up in a loop. And I also have a reset system, so reset bit, I guess you can say. It sends a single pulse at the beginning of when the creation is first made. XOR, NOR, OR. And then hook the XOR output to the off NOR. And this OR hooks, actually no, this needs to be set to 0.5 first. There we go. And then the OR goes to the NOR. And that will send a reset pulse at the beginning. From here you need 2 more timers. Coming off this to one, to the other, back to this. So this is going to be in a loop. First one has to be set to a second, and the second one can be set just about anything. I like to set it to 0.5 because that makes sure that the cannon's reset properly. Using the switch we used before, hook it up to the NOR. Hook this NOR up to your controller. So I unhook that switch first, hook this to the controller. And now you have an auto reset system. I'll put this on the stand. There we go, so we aim up a little bit. And it's really heavy on that one side. So once again, grab around. Press and hold to fire. And I did something wrong. I know what I did wrong. I forgot to connect from the 1 second timer goes to the spud gun. That's what I forgot to do. Okay, there we go. And there's your cannon. So this auto resets, you don't have to manage 2 switches. It works quite well. I'm really happy with it. So this is the general tutorial for bearing glitch cannons. Now I'm actually going to go into some of the variations and some of the experimental designs. One more shot, there you go. I did make a mistake, I just realized. It's actually with this logic where the logic is located. I feel like an idiot because this is like the #1 rule about these cannons that I just broke. I gotta grab this logic one more time. You have to make sure that the actual spinning arms have movement, have room to move. And I did not follow that rule like an idiot. So what I mean by that is, as you can see, this arm is trying to come out. Moment, I forgot to hook this to that. There we go. The arm's trying to come out and it has to have room to move. So if I were to just do this, it should be able to spin freely. That was my mistake. Now let's talk about the variations and also the experimental design. So this cannon is quite powerful. I did show you how you can do it with just 2 bearings if you need an even more compact design. But if you do need extra power, what you can also do is extend these arms. These are 2 long arms. All you have to do is move these bearings 1 more over, and just make these arms 3 long instead. You can get a little bit more power, but the cannon does take up quite a bit more room. This cannon is already quite powerful. If you do the 3 long arms, it's going to be even more powerful. So one of the things you're going to have to take into account is you are probably going to need some sort of recoil dampening system. Because this cannon will kick, and it will kick really, really hard. Now, the logic, just as a helpful tip, logic, most times, don't put it on the cannon. I was doing this for testing purposes. It's usually best to have it stored somewhere else in the vehicle or inside the turret itself. And now I kind of regret having put it there. So, recoil dampening, let's go ahead and grab some springs. I usually do 2. You could probably get away with just 1 spring. And what I found to work is usually this one on 2 and this one on 3. I'm going to quickly mount this to a platform. Two controllers. There we go. Go ahead and put buttons up to these so we can aim up and down. There we go. And now when we fire, cannon recoils. The recoil dampening system itself may seem like something just to add because it looks cool, but when you actually start getting into the really powerful cannons, it can be very beneficial to have. If you're doing like a turret, lacking a recoil dampening system can cause the turret to rotate uncontrollably once you've fired. The armored car has that problem, and the Mark 8 tank has that problem as well. The armored car isn't as bad, but the Mark 8 can spin uncontrollably if you fire it. Another benefit is it actually makes the cannon a bit more reliable. It doesn't make the cannons perfect, but it can prevent the cannons from breaking the bearings that they're on. These bearing glitch cannons do cause the physics to go wonky a little bit, and they exude so much force on your creation that the bearings can literally just not work and break. And having a dampening system does absorb a good amount of that force and disperse it a lot better, making it a lot easier to mount this into vehicles. If you're going for something really, really compact, maybe dampening system isn't right for you because you do have to account for the cannon actually going back as well as the arms being pointed back. So having a dampening system takes up a lot of room inside whatever vehicle you're going to be putting it in. And also, I should say, having a recoil dampening system does take away some of the power from the gun, which it's kind of a trade-off. Yes, you lose a bit of power, but you do get a bit more reliability and a bit more accuracy. Okay, so that is us talking about the variations, how to do a recoil dampening system, and I kind of showed off how to do an up and down aiming system here. Now the variations. The variations are actually quite easy to do, and the only thing really to do, or I shouldn't have said variations, I should have said the experimental versions, because that would have been more accurate. But the experimental versions are the exact same structure, they just use a bit of a different logic setup to actually make them work. Let's go ahead and grab some logic, grab some timers, and grab a button. NOR and timer. Set this to 1 second. Grab a button, NOR and timer. There you go. Let's go ahead and disconnect this from the logic we had before. So this is a charging, not really a charging system, this is a fire when released system. So with this, you press the button, after 1 second it fires. This system, you hold down the button, and whenever you want to fire, you release, and it fires as soon as you release. So you don't have that 1 second delay. The button goes to controller, and the AND goes to your cannon. Okay. So now I press it, charge, release, fire. Charge, 1 Mississippi, fire. And it works the exact same. Now, this is cool, but it allows you to do something else, which I refer to as the charge shot. If you go to your controller, put this on a loop, what it allows you to do is actually charge the power of your round. for every second you hold down the button, it increases your power by 1 times. So, 1 Mississippi, that's a 1 power. That went actually quite far. One Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 4 power. And you can kind of see it flying off in the distance. It's a little hard to see because the actual platform came flying at our face. So let's go ahead and put some weight on this to try and prevent that. One Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5. So it hit the ground. I think it either hit the rock or hit the tree, bounced, hit the mountain, and then flew up through the sky. So that's how the charge shot works. And you could just do this is the same system as the fire on release. The only difference is this is set to loop or not to loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not counting in seconds because for some reason I decided not to this time. And there broke the cannon. Yeah, that broke everything. The charge shot, well, it allows you to charge your power. It is, like I said, experimental, and it does have a number of issues, including glitching. Charging 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4 second, fine. You get 1 times power, 2 times power, and so on. Once you start getting past 4 seconds is when you really start to break the game. It is doable, but you start getting worse and worse chances. So a 5 times power, maybe 25% of your shots fail. Once you start going to something like 10 times power, you get like 70% of your shots will break the game. So like I said, it's still experimental. I haven't had a chance to really work with it too much and learn too much about it. But it is an idea I've had, and I did want to show it off to see if you guys wanted to do anything with it. I don't know how long that charged for. There you go. That is how to make a bearing glitch cannon at its most basic, with a 1-button setup, with a release fire setup, and with a charge shot setup. This is on the release button. Honestly, the release button would be the one I would go with. It's the most reliable, simplest to understand, and if you do design an aiming system for this, it's easier to design the aiming system around your shot being a reliable power. The charge shot, while useful, makes it harder to judge your shot. Because if you charge 1, it goes 1 distance. If you charge times 2, it goes a different distance. And it may be a bit hard to anticipate. Unless you did a strict, it always charges X amount of times via a timer setup, it just wouldn't be the most useful thing at times. But it's still a cool concept, and I did want to show it off. But this is going to be the end of this tutorial. If you did learn anything, please leave a like. Any suggestions for the next one, leave in the comments down below. Enjoy the channel, enjoy what I'm doing, please subscribe, helps a lot. And right now, shares help the channel the most. So do you want to help out this channel, please share this episode with a friend. Thanks for stopping by, thanks for sticking around, and until next time, peace.